Hi guys, so today it's gonna be a little bit more of a serious video. So basically it's gonna be a story time of when there was a school shooting about 2 years ago. So we're just gonna kind of go into what we experienced. And I'd like to start off by saying that no one was critically injured or anything. There was only a few minor injuries in the incident because of the crowds that were trampling each other. But other than that, thankfully no one was hurt.
It was a Monday morning, and we always sit in the orchestra room, which is connected to like the cafeteria, and usually everyone hangs out in the commons cafeteria area, but we always just sit in class. And so it was like, school starts at 7:30, so it was around like 7:10, 7:15 when we were in class. We were just sitting there talking, and all of a sudden we hear one bang. I didn't think anything of it. I thought like a table collapsed.
You had to collapse them, so it really just sounded like one of them just like collapsed, and it just was like a loud boom.
I remember seeing our teacher. He came out of his office and he was like, "What was that?" He was actually like instantly concerned. And I mean, yeah, I was kind of like, it's fine. And then I remember looking through like the window of the doors that could see out to the commons, and I remember seeing a guy, like he was looking out, like he actually looked concerned too. And I was just like, okay, maybe it was nothing. Like still not phased at all.
So then there was this girl in our orchestra. She walked in and everybody was kind of concerned after our teacher showed concern. And she's like, guys, don't worry about it. It was just a table or something.
It was very strange because she just came in and we were all kind of standing. We were like, what was that? And then she's like, it's okay, guys. And we're like, okay. But
we thought like she would have known because she had just come from the area where it happened.
Exactly. Then came the second bang, and that's where we stood up. We were like, that's not a coincidence. Yeah. And we realized we saw everyone getting up and everyone starts to run. Everyone's kind of frantic. When you're in school, you were taught to go into lockdown if something were to happen. So I immediately run to the corner and go to this practice room that you can hide in, and right when I remember
the door was locked.
It was locked.
I remember it jingling.
Yes,
just like,
and I remember.
Come
yes,
on.
I was like, maybe I can open it. We were trying to push the door. Like that's how desperate we were. And so I ended up just like ducking under the piano.
We were all like crowded
huddling
underneath. I was right next to Emily, and everybody was just so scared. Yeah.
Our teacher came out and he was like, "Just go, because we had an exit."
People started coming in the orchestra room, and someone was like, "Run!"
Yep.
And when you hear that, you're not just gonna sit in a corner like a sitting duck.
Yes.
And mind you, attendance was not yet taken, so that's why we like didn't.
Just ran.
We weren't worried that they didn't know where we were or anything. There was a separate exit from the orchestra room into the outside than the so we didn't have to go through the commons where it happened.
We had like an advantage almost. So we run out, and this was the scariest part, I think, because you do not know if there are other shooters. You do not know what the motive is. So when you're running, you don't know if like, I just remember like kind of ducking my head because I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, there was people coming out of the common doors, which are very close to the ones out of the orchestra room. And I saw these two like older like senior guys, and they were like literally like this running with each other and like looking at each other super scared. And I instantly thought like, oh my god, somebody was shot, and like they just witnessed like their friend get shot or something. We had no idea. Like I think it was scary that there was not just one shot and there was multiple, so we didn't know if there was going to be more. Like the scary part is we had no idea what was happening.
Exactly. Once we were like finally like in a car, we'll get to that. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, like who got hurt, like it's just the unknown. So we are running across the parking lot. Everyone's running. I've never seen like the look of fear on any. Oh my gosh, it was so terrifying.
It was so terrifying.
Yeah.
Mind you, we left everything. We dropped everything. We didn't have our backpacks. I didn't have my phone. I didn't have my car keys. I didn't have my wallet. I had nothing.
Yeah, I left everything. My guitar, everything.
Everything.
And we ran to the back parking lot where we usually park, and we're like, what do we do? And we ran into our friend. He ended up having his car, but he was looking for his sister, and he had no idea.
Everybody's screaming like, no, like where's my sister? Like I need to wait for my sister. And we're running, and our goal was just to get as far away as possible. So we wanted to find a car. Mind you, we didn't have our car keys. That's why we couldn't take our own cars. Turns out later I realized I sprained my ankle and I didn't even know because like the adrenaline, like I was running to save my life. That's what I thought.
And we ended up like it was like 4 of us in the car. We drove down the street to the middle school. It was like right next to it. And like he let us use his phone because we had to call parents. And so I called my mom, and like I was instantly crying because I was terrified. And I was like, Mom, we're at this middle school. We don't know what to do, blah, blah, blah. And so she just assumed I was at this middle school for the entire time. That's important because later we all of a sudden are already seeing the cop cars like, race down the road. So I'm like, I don't know, what's going on back there. That's when we see, okay, this was my boyfriend at the time. This is when we see him driving towards the school. I'm freaking out.
Yeah, because he was late, and
Yeah.
pretty much a lot of people actually didn't show up to school that day because they were late.
It was a Monday.
Yeah,
so...
lucky for them. We didn't know what was happening. We didn't know if it was a current shooting situation, and you just see your boyfriend driving to the school.
Yeah. So and like that was when I told our friend that was driving to go towards my boyfriend at the time and just honk and like try and tell him to not go, because you know, again, you don't know if they're active, you don't know, like, and I remember screaming, and I'm thinking maybe you'll hear me, and I was just dumb.
He was honking the horn. He was riding his butt.
Yes.
He saw the cop cars and he didn't turn around. He didn't look.
Yeah.
Or anything.
Mm-hmm. We ended up just turning around because I think he ended up seeing what was going on, and so I'm like, okay, well, that's all you now. We ended up we were driving and we got to the intersection and we were like, where are we going? And then I think that's when we were like, let's just go to your house.
Like, we were just all shaken up. We were just like, I don't even know, like, the energy in that car,
Oh
like, the adrenaline was pumping through us. So we get to my neighborhood and I see my mom leaving the neighborhood in her car because she's going to work. I think I tried calling her and she didn't answer.
Yeah.
And so then, like, I see her and, like, I'm, like, flying her down, like, mom, and, like, I literally run after her car and she didn't notice me, and, like, I just, like, wanted to, like, hug my mom because, like, that was so terrifying.
We literally stopped in, like, the middle of the road just so she could, like, run after her mom. Maybe we'll catch her.
A neighbor stopped and was like, I'll flag her down if, like, for you if you want.
And we get back to her house and we immediately turn on the news. We're just trying to figure out what's going on. I think at that point, that's when it said no injuries reported, and we were like, oh, thank goodness. But then we had you call the news.
Yeah, like, our other friends, like, made me call the news because the other kids that were calling in literally had no idea what was happening.
Yeah.
I think we had a clearer view of what was actually happening, and we were closer to, they made me call, and I was, that was it. We just kind of, like, chilled at my house.
Yeah.
We were so scared. Then it was coming out that there was rumors of who did it, and
Facebook.
Then I got a Facebook friend request from a guy that looked like the guy who actually did it, and I got so scared.
It was weird. It was like,
it was really weird.
We were thinking he's picking victims.
Yeah.
Like, we had never seen this guy before in our life.
No.
Apparently he started at our school like 2 months prior.
Yeah,
because he got expelled from another school. So he was already kind of messed up in the head a little bit.
Later on, we found out actually what happened. Reliving this is actually kind of hard.
Yeah.
Found out that he started off in the upstairs gym and he shot a gun straight into the ceiling. That was the first bang. And he was like, had a lit cigarette on him and stuff. And he walked down the steps, and luckily one of our favorite teachers was there, and the school resource officer was there. And they noticed him, and that's when he shot it again at the roof.
I think it was the floor?
At the floor. Yeah. Like, I know the first one was on the roof, but I don't know about the second one.
Yeah. Where
he pointed. They said his goal was to get shot by the police officer at our school. So I guess that was his way of asking for help. Yeah. The teacher saw him, tackled him to the ground.
Yes. And since that, he's been known for that. But I remember him telling us a story, and he was just saying when he was on top of him, he was just telling him, it's going to be okay, like, we're going to get you help, because he knew, like, what he was trying to do, and that, you know, nobody's going to get hurt now. And that was also, I guess, since when he tackled him, that was when everyone's running, and everyone got injured by that, and even the teacher said, I think he broke a finger, and he lost his wedding ring.
He lost his wedding ring, and he jammed his fingers,
Yeah.
something like that. The only injuries that were sustained were, like, people, like, who, like, bit the ground or someone stepped on them when, like, because it was utter chaos.
Yeah.
You can prepare for a situation like that, but in the actual situation, people are going crazy.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how many times we would have done a drill.
Yeah.
I think the scarier part was after it happened. There were so many people who were just jumping on the bandwagon and trying to say they were gonna finish the job. People would say, oh, I'm gonna finish the job at the pep rally on Friday. And then there was rumors that they were gonna start shooting there.
Yeah.
And there was these people who had the boy's name on their wrists, like justice for blah, 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 or something like that.
Free, blah,
yeah,
blah,
free,
blah,
blah, blah, blah. And it was really terrifying.
Yeah, I remember hearing about it on Twitter. Social media was just not a fun thing at that time. It was very terrifying. And I remember, like, immediately crying to my mom, saying, Mom, I don't want to go to school.
Yeah,
like,
same.
Ever since then, though, like, whenever you see crowds, you get nervous. Every time you hear a noise, you get scared. Like, even in movie theaters, like, I saw a guy just standing, and I'm like, Mom, he's making me nervous. and it really sucks like a lot, and it sucks that like we can't see the good in people, we only see the bad now.
Like I instantly, when I assess the situation instantly, when I look around, I'm like, oh, that guy looks somewhat suspicious. And after a while, like when my teachers after that, like the same year, would leave the doors open, like I would be super scared, and you'd hear a noise and I'd just like jump, or someone would be running in the hallways and I'd be so scared. It didn't help that a lot of the high schools around us, the students were like, oh my god, no one even got shot, why were you scared? And it's like, we didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, like you would do the same thing. That was one thing that made me really angry. You have no idea what it was like.
Yeah. Some people like made jokes about it and stuff like that, and I'm not gonna lie, sometimes like, you know, you would just kind of say a joke just so you can like, that was just a way of coping with it. It was a serious situation. I still am affected by it today. And I think a lot of kids are. Our community did kind of come together. Like we were trending on Facebook.
Yeah, and all the other schools wearing purple for us, like elementary schools.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that they like actually know how we felt and everything.
You know, like school is supposed to be a safe place. And then when something like that happens, especially since before in that year, I was in a Walmart when someone pulled a gun and the same thing happened, and I was just like, this needs to end. Like I didn't feel safe anywhere.
They ended up making a documentary about it, and it was actually very good.
Yeah, they did. And it was more about like the responders and what they had to do. Yeah.
So it was really good to see like another point of view. I remember I shared it and my dad was like, that was the most scared I've been as a dad. And I was like, I bet.
See, my parents reacted very differently. My dad literally was just like, okay, I'm glad you're safe, because he was in the military, like he's been through chaos like that. And so like I just kind of like felt like I was like, I wanted them to be like as like freaked out about it as I was.
That was also, I know, I told my mom and she was just like, okay, like she was like that. And then I forgot to mention this, she ended up going to the school to pick me up because she thought I was there. She thought I was still at the middle school. And then she like went to the field where everyone that was in the building that got evacuated, she was looking for me there, and she had a teacher look for me, and they thought I was missing for a while, and I'm like, whoops, sorry. So it was just like a scary moment. My mom didn't know where I was. They thought everyone was safe and everything, but it ended up being fine. But still, that was another thing.
Yeah, we didn't communicate with anybody because our phones were gone. So like I was using your Twitter on like the computer because like I didn't have that.
Some friends that are in Running Start, where they just go to the college and they don't have to go to school, they all of a sudden, you know, they hear that their friends were involved in the school shooting. That's probably terrifying to them too. I wasn't able to talk to some of my friends till the next day because I didn't have my phone and they don't have social media or something.
Yeah, school was closed that day for the rest of the day. And I think the next day, was there school the next day?
There was, Yeah,
I just remember the day that we were supposed to have a pep rally after all that like drama online. I told my mom, like, Mom, I literally can't go. I'm not going to school in the morning. And and that's also when I found out that I had actually sprained my ankle when I was running.
Nice.
I
remember when my mom picked me up here, and then she took me back to the school to get my car, and I was still like, are you sure it's safe? We brought my spare key, and then I remember walking in the parking lot and I saw my science teacher, and he's like, hey Emily, are you okay? Do you need a ride? And I was like, oh, I'm fine, like I'm getting my car. I know you can't go inside. I did the same
thing with my car.
Leave all of our stuff though, which was so
for
weird.
Like overnight, and everything had nothing. And then when we walked in the next day, or whenever we went in, everything was the way it was.
Yes, there were pictures of how the cafeteria tables were left.
Oh yeah, the tables were like moved, and like
there's papers everywhere. It was
spilled breakfast.
It was just like such like a more quiet like atmosphere.
Yeah, our school provided services for like counseling and stuff. I didn't go because I didn't think I was that affected by it until after like
my mom still like will kind of laugh when like if there's a loud bang, I'll jump, and she'll be like, wow, you still jump? And I'm like, yes, I do jump.
It's no joke.
We just wanted to tell you guys that not fun story.
It kind of feels good to talk about it sometimes, and to talk about it in a serious way, and to really be open about how you were affected by it, because I feel like a lot of times people are like, why are you so affected by it? Like, no one was hurt. But
exactly.
It's a good way to get it off our chest.
But
thank you for listening if you watched the whole video. And hopefully we'll come back with a happier story next time.
All right.
Bye. See you guys later.